Hello, I'm Mateen Durrani, editor of Physics World, and I'm here in Geneva at the CERN Particle Physics Lab to talk to James Gillies, who's head of communications, about big science and the media. Thanks for joining us, James. CERN did a great job last year in generating huge media interest in the Large Hadron Collider. But how much of that interest do you think was actually to do with particle physics, and how much to do with unnecessary fears that we're going to be swallowed by a black hole?
Well, thanks first of all for saying that. I mean, I think there are really three factors that contributed to the huge amount of interest that we had in the switch on of the LHC last year. The black hole thing was one of them, undoubtedly. That drove up a huge amount of interest. But long before that, we'd started really actively going out and getting media and saying, come here and look what's happening here, look what people are doing here, in the name of human curiosity. And journalists were coming. We upped the number of journalists visiting CERN every year from 200 to 800 over the last few years. So that certainly contributed. And the other thing that helped was Dan Brown's Angels and Demons, I have to say. I mean, when the book came out in 2000, it didn't sell well, but after Da Vinci Code it did. People started buying it, and we put up a website. If you came to the CERN website in 2005, the first thing you would see is the Lockheed X-33 spaceplane, which our DG used in the book to fly to Boston in 45 minutes. And with the question, does CERN have one of these? No. And then we went on and had a true fact and fiction behind Angels and Demons. That drove our web traffic up by a factor of 10 overnight, and it hasn't dropped since then. So there were really three things. There was Angels and Demons, there was black holes, and there was a bit of work that we were doing ourselves, I think, that contributed to that too. And I fundamentally believe that people are curious, right? And if you talk to people about what we're doing at labs like CERN, trying to explore and understand the universe in terms that they can relate to, they will be excited by it, and that's what my experience also shows.
And given that the LHC broke down so soon after it was turned on last year, do you feel that CERN was guilty of overhyping things?
Well, we didn't drive the hype. That's got to be clear. You know, the hype came from elsewhere, and we dealt with it. I would have been perfectly happy had there been no hype about black holes, to be honest. But we felt, and I argued very strongly with our management, that it was in CERN's best interest to invite people in to watch the switch on of the LHC. Now, no lab anywhere in the world has ever done that before. Switch-ons of big particle accelerators, usually things that you do quite quietly. It takes time, things go wrong, we know that. We knew that there was a chance that it would go wrong, but there was so much interest then. I felt that we would get a much better hearing from the world's media if we invited them to see the reality of switching on the LHC. And what happened on the day, it was a fabulous day. It was just an amazing day, but it didn't all go smoothly. You know, when I got in the morning, the first thing I did was talk to Lynn Evans, the project leader, and he said, the cryogenics has gone down, we're out for a few hours. And we were, but people saw that. They saw the process of things going wrong, being fixed, overcoming hurdles, and then moving forward. So I got a huge amount of feedback afterwards from people who'd been here, and there were 340 journalists here on the day saying, thanks for showing us something real. We didn't overhype it. The hype was there, and we lived with it.
There's going to be immense interest if and when the LHC discovers new physics, particularly the Higgs boson. How are you going to manage information when data arrive and rumours start to spread?
Well, rumours will certainly start to spread, and rumours have many more channels to spread than they did the last time we switched on a big new machine here back in 1989, which was when the year the World Wide Web was invented. Now, there is, in my opinion, no doubt that by the time we are ready to announce the discovery of the Higgs boson, the whole world will know it. What we have to do, and our whole approach to information, is to be timely, to be quick, to be honest, to put out information as soon as we can. Precisely what will happen when we get close to the announcement of a Higgs boson discovery, I don't know, but I could imagine if you look back to what happened when our last big accelerator, a bit of which is behind me here, LEP, switched down in 2000. There were rumours. One of the experiments had a big signal that may yet prove to have been a Higgs particle. We don't know yet. And what we did then was we organised weekly seminars. All the experiments got up and they said, this is the status of our analysis today. The media was here, they covered it, they saw that signals go up and down, and they don't always agree from the 4 experiments. They saw the process of science. And I think that, again, in 2000, CERN was very open about its communication there. We were trying to be quick, we were trying to be timely, we were trying to be the lab that was leading the information, that was being authoritative on the information. I think that's what we'll be trying to do again this time round. But there's certainly no doubt that rumours will be spreading through the blogosphere, through Web 2, as soon as we start to take data, I think, in my opinion.
Now, some CERN experiments have put rules in place dictating what scientists on their teams can and cannot write about in their blogs. How do you react to suggestions that amounts to censorship?
Well, I think people should read what these guidelines are first, and then you'll see that they're actually not very constraining at all. I mean, it's quite normal in a collaboration of several thousands of people, that groups of people come together, that they have very open discussions about the analyses that they are doing, that opinions change, the data changes, the analysis evolves, and that's something that the collaborations want to feel can happen in an open discussion without people thinking there's somebody sitting behind me blogging all this live whilst I'm talking. So all that the guidelines say is follow your collaboration's internal peer review guidelines, so make sure that the information is of sufficient quality to be published before you start talking about it, and be nice to your neighbours. That's not over constraining in my opinion. I think it's perfectly reasonable.